Right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So from today we have to start with the gas absorption, and now this is a long chapter which will take I think some time, like at least 4 to 5 weeks. Hopefully will be spent on this. So today I will just introduce you with the absorption, what absorption is, general terminologies related to this, and then there are two common types of absorption, what are common absorbents used, and later on then we will just I think at the end we'll start with the equipments, common equipment used for the absorption. So those equipment are categorized into two main streams. So hopefully we will just start with the one and then we'll continue in this week with this stuff. So here just introduction of absorption. So what is absorption? Initially, already you know that absorption is a unit operation in which we actually remove some of the components from gas stream, and how we remove them from gas stream by using some liquid, or we call it solvent, and when we bring in contact gas with that liquid, the liquid has affinity towards some of the component of gas stream. Some of the component of gas stream will be absorbed inside the liquid, and other gas component will just leave from that column in which where we are contacting them. So you can define it like it is a technique in which one or more component of gas streams are taken away or absorbed with the help of a non-volatile liquid or solvent. So non-volatile, the reason is here we bring such liquid that it has some specific properties, and out of those the one property is that it should not be volatile, because if solvent is volatile, volatile mean I think you understand that mean which is easily converted to the vapor. So it should not be easily converted to the vapor, because if it is converted to the vapor it will cause two problems. One, it will become part of the gas stream which we were supposed to clean it, but we will just contaminate it further. As well, at the same time, if it is volatile, you will be losing the amount of liquid. That means you have to bring more liquid every time, means you are just recycling the liquid. You have to add more makeup in the form of makeup, because it will be, if it is volatile it will be lost with the gas stream. So due to these reason it should be non-volatile. So absorption mean usually uses such a liquid which is mean to selectively remove the components. Uh, I mean absorbent or the liquid which you are using, that should have affinity towards some specific components, not all the components of the gas. So based on this, later on in this lecture we will see that there are number of absorbents used, and some specific absorbent has specific affinity for some specific components. So then out of those you have to select. So whenever you are using this technique, actually the purpose is to remove components from the gas stream. Which component we have to remove? Especially the removal of impurities, contaminants, pollutants, or catalyst poison. So all of these are actually impurities that those components, whenever suppose you have to introduce this gas stream to the reactor, so if there is something which can cause problem to the catalyst, that should be removed. Sometime it is the requirement of the process that there should not be any other species, any component that can cause, like for example side reaction, so that should be removed, and so on. If gas stream is supposed to be used or pumped main to any place, for example we take natural gas. In natural gas our purpose is to burn the gas, main, and in household especially when you are using it in kitchen. So from natural gas we used to remove the sulfur containing components, so that if sulfur is coming to your household, by burning of sulfur you will be producing SO2, and that is like hazardous gas, hazardous for human health. So there are various reasons to remove various contaminants from the gas stream. Then the other purpose of this absorption sometimes can be recovery of valuable chemicals. So it's mean it is not necessary that always we remove some of the contaminants or impurities with the help of absorption. Sometimes maybe you will be absorbing those things which are valuable and all other gas will not be useful for you. So here the example is same. That's for example CO2 removal from natural gas and the flue gases with the help of a solvent, and that solvent which is commonly used, they are called amine solution. So monoethanol amine. This is used to absorb CO2 from natural gas as well as from the flue gases. The reason to remove here CO2 is that CO2 is not added to the atmosphere because it causes global warming. So here when we are removing CO2, it's mean this is one of the pollutant that should not be added to the atmosphere. Due to this reason, we used to remove CO2 from, by the way, flue gases, but from natural gases, CO2 is removed on the production sites. If you don't remove CO2 from the natural gas, you will need, or you have to put extra cost by pumping the CO2 along with natural gas. Along with the pumping cost, it will be occupying some volume inside the pipeline. So due to these reasons, it is necessary that CO2 should be removed from natural gas, so that you don't have to put extra cost on its pumping, as well as like it will be occupying some volume, and at the end wherever you are burning the natural gas, it will not provide you any value. So whenever you are using this technique of absorption, the species of interest mean those species which we are absorbing, that may include all components present in the gas. It's mean the component which we are absorbing that can be of some benefit, as well as all those components of the gas which are not absorbed, they can also be of some interest to us. So only the components that are not absorbed. Sometimes your component of interest are those which are not absorbed. For example, in this case of removal of carbon dioxide from natural gas, when we have removed CO2, all other gas which will be leaving from the system, that is of our interest, because that is used for the burning purpose. And then only the components which are absorbed, they can be of benefit, that components which are only absorbed. So it depends on your application, either the thing which is absorbed that is of benefit, either which is not absorbed of the benefit, or sometimes both of the gases can be of your benefit. Because we use this technique a lot in the industry. So most of the time when you are using these techniques in industries, maybe the gases which you are capturing, they are also being used in some next operation, as well as which are not captured, they can be of the benefit. So all those species which are transferred to the liquid, all those components which you want to transfer to the liquid, which you want to absorb inside the liquid, they are called solute. Before that, the liquid or the solvent, it is called absorbent. Later on we will be using actually these terminologies. Sometimes we use solvent, liquid, or if somewhere it is written absorbent, so absorbent is actually that liquid. And the species which you want to get rid of, or which you want to absorb, they are called solute, until unless they are not absorbed. But whenever they are absorbed, when solute has been absorbed, then they will be called as absorbates. I think you are aware about these terminologies: absorbent, absorbate. Can you tell me? If you didn't come across these, at least you have come across, I think, adsorbent, adsorbate. So in case of solid, because last time we discussed somewhere adsorption quickly. So solid material on which you are adsorbing the thing, that is called adsorbent. Here opposite to that, because liquid capture those species, those components, so it is absorbent. and all those things which are absorbed are called absorbates. So then other thing which is called stripping, that is opposite of absorption. So what does this mean?
सर गैस को यूज करते हुए लिक्विड के अंदर जो चीजें एब्जॉर्ब कुछ हुई होती हैं उन्हें हम रिमूव कर रहे होते हैं.
Good. So in absorption, what we were doing, we were capturing some of the component of the gas in liquid. So here in the case of stripping, you will be just removing the components which are absorbed inside the liquid and with the help of some gas here, as Omar mentioned. So in stripping, one or more components of liquid stream, I mean, if you properly define it, it is the removal of one or more component of liquid stream. And how they are removed? They are removed by vaporizing into an insoluble gas stream. Insoluble here means the gas stream which you are bringing here as a like mass separating agent. Last time we discussed this, that in absorption column as well as stripping column there will be some mass separating agent. You have to introduce some mass separating agent stream. For example, in case of absorption, what is mass separating agent?
Sir, the substance which is used to
Solid
absorb.
side.
Yes, liquid which you are using definitely for absorbing. The liquid stream introduced will be called as a mass separating agent. And here in stripping, then there is some stream which is used to remove some of the component, and that is here the gas, so that will be mass separating agent. So in this case of stripping, or sometimes you can also call it, or you can come across this this name, that desorption. They also call it desorption, absorption and desorption. So this is not widely used, but in some texts you can come across this mentioned here. So in case of this stripping or desorption, liquid mixture, you bring it contact with the gas, and that gas selectively removes some of the component by from that liquid phase, not all the components. And here the purpose will be actually to remove to recover or regenerate the liquid so that it can be used again in the absorption column. So absorption can be of both type, physical as well as chemical. In case of physical absorption, so what does this physical absorption mean?
The nature of a species
absorb होंगे, no chemical reaction takes place.
Right, no chemical reaction takes place, and they get absorbed with the help of weak bonding forces. And those weak bonding forces can be like hydrogen bonding, there can be something you can say dipole moment, and such kind of weak forces which you studied somewhere earlier in FSC or maybe in chemistry courses. So they act here in physical absorption. So in physical absorption, absorption, it's mean we are removing some components of the gas. So here the gas is removed, all those gas components which have a good affinity towards the liquid, they are removed, and here the forces are simply like weak bonding forces. There is not proper bond formation due to weak bonding forces like hydrogen bonding, van der Waals forces, like these dipole moments and such kind of forces. They help you actually when something has affinity towards the liquid, actually that develop these weak forces with that liquid and gets removed from the gas stream. For example, here mentioned is butane and pentane. They are somehow lighter hydrocarbon, and they are removed from the refinery gas mixture with the help of heavy oil. Refinery gas mixture consists of, for example, gases starting from C1 to C5. C1, methane, ethane, and so on, ethylene, and such kind of gases. So if you have to remove, these are a bit heavier components, butane and propane, pentane. So they are removed with the help of heavy oil. And heavy oil is, oil which is Did you know what does this heavy oil mean? Light oil, heavy oil, somewhere. I think you are studying energy engineering this time. So actually, okay, heavy oil is that oil which has API gravity less than 20. Now you have to search for this, that what does API gravity mean. Okay, let me tell you, it is American Petroleum Institute. This is one scale to classify these crude oils. So in heavy oil, actually its value is less than 20. So I mean this will be a quite heavier. And then this is used to absorb these kind of gases in refinery. So in other way, the opposite to this physical is the chemical absorption. So in case of chemical absorption, there will be a reaction between liquid which is absorbate as well as the absorbent which you want to absorb here, the gases. So an example here is the reaction or removal of CO2 and actually H2S, either from natural gas or maybe from biogas and so on. So their removal takes place with the help of some reaction. So these two, CO2 and H2S, they can be removed with the help of both adsorbents mentioned here, like NaOH and monoethanolamine. So in both cases here, either you are using NaOH, so NaOH can be used for removal of both of these species, as well as MEA can be used. But preferably NaOH is more good, or can remove H2S in a better way as compared to, I mean, like this MEA, and MEA is good for removal of CO2 as already I mentioned. So in this case, there will be a proper bond formation. So that is called chemical absorption. And when there is a chemical reaction, so there are two types. You already know that there can be reversible reaction as well as irreversible reaction. So in case of here NaOH, when it reacts with either CO2 or H2S, and usually this make permanent bond, that is irreversible, as compared to this MEA that makes a bond which is reversible. We can reverse this process. So for irreversible reactions, that is preferred one. Reversible is preferred one. The reason is that we can regenerate the liquid, we can bring it back to the absorption column. While in case of irreversible means you cannot regenerate NaOH when it has reacted with any of these, either H2S or CO2. So that makes a chemical that you cannot reverse the reaction. If you want to even reverse it, that will be either too costly, or that will also not regenerate the liquid. It will be broken down into something else. So in those cases, when it is irreversible, always you will need new liquid. But in case of reversible reactions, we usually regenerate the liquid. And how we can regenerate, that is in the like stripper or distillation column. And in that case, maybe not only with the help of only passing some gas, sometimes you will need extra assistant in terms of heating or like this, so you can regenerate those many liquids. And what will you prefer, by the way, in such case? Either it should be reversible or irreversible. And but before that, physical or chemical, which one should be better in your opinion?
Physical, I think.
Physical, sir?
No, any other answer? Actually, I'm asking in this way, that which one will give you more absorption, physical or chemical? First of all, this one.
Chemical, sir.
Chemical. Okay, in case of chemical, because as I mentioned already, in case of physical, guys, there are very weak forces. So that will not generate good absorption. until unless some bond formation is taking place, and that will be a bit good absorption. Yes, when there is a bond formation, in case of chemical absorption, later we will discuss it somewhere in detail, hopefully. So in case of chemical absorption, the absorption is higher as compared to physical. So due to this reason, we will prefer it chemical. But in chemical, as we mentioned, that there are two categories. Now, out of those two categories, which one is better, or which one you will prefer?
सर सेपरेशन वाइज इरिवर्सिबल बेटर होगा, बट कॉस्ट वाइज हमें रिवर्सिबल ज़्यादा सूट करेगा.
Yes, but you are right. But the reason is, yes, irreversible. If you are getting something, when you are absorbing some of the gas and you are getting some species which is of good value, like that has some that can be sold at good cost, so at the higher cost as compared to your solvent, in that case it is definitely good to go for irreversible, because you will not need another equipment to get it separated and bring it back, and at the same time it is giving you something valuable. But most of the cases, the products which are obtained are not that valuable as compared to the liquid which you are using for absorption. So we prefer reversible cases so that we can regenerate and reuse them, because liquid, for example, these monoethanol amines, NaOH, definitely they have cost. They are not like cheaper. They are not like water simply that you are using it for the absorption. So due to this reason, most of the time in the industries, reversible is preferred, so that can be regenerated and can be reused. So more or less same thing is again mentioned here in physical, like absorption. I already mentioned, because in last slide here I have directly written that what is happening, but what are the examples in this case. I think the same will be mentioned, but no significant reaction takes place and weak bonding forces in case of physical absorption. And in this case, for example, here it is mentioned use of water or hydrocarbon as absorbents. They come in contact and they are used for the absorption. So that's physical mainly. And in case of chemical absorption, when absorption is accompanied by rapid and irreversible reaction, mentioned here irreversible, like, or maybe reversible reaction, both can be there. So the same example of NaOH. So removal of H2S and CO2 from natural gas using these, by the way, already mentioned this, monoethanolamine, diethanolamine, even triethanolamine. So they are called usually a mine solution, and they are very widely used in the industry, this natural gas industry, for removal of these contaminants, which is CO2 and H2S. Chemical reaction actually increase the rate of absorption and solvent absorption capacity, and that convert a hazardous chemical sometime to inert compound, or the compound is less hazardous. So due to this is preferred chemical one, because first of all rate of absorption is higher, and when rate of absorption is higher, definitely by using some small amount of even absorbent you can get more absorption as compared to the physical. For example, we are bringing the same amount of two liquid, one can go for the physical and other for the chemical. So in case of chemical, absorption will be higher with that even same amount. So at the same time, as he mentioned, one other advantage of this chemical is that due to chemical reaction, sometimes hazardous pollutants are converted to something less hazardous. For example, in case of H2S, when it is reacting with the NaOH, so it produces sometimes sodium sulfide, I think they call it. Yes, sodium sulfide and sodium bisulfide. Actually, it will be something Na2S or NaHS, bisulfide or sodium sulfide. So that's less hazardous as compared to the H2S. So that's what does he mean to convert to the inert compound. These absorption and stripping both are actually operated as equilibrium stage operation, in which we bring in contact, as we discussed, that there is a liquid and vapor. They are coming in contact, as we discussed I mean, what is absorption, what is stripping. In both cases, you know that there are always liquid and the gases, liquid and the vapor, they are coming in contact. So there should be some equilibrium stage operation in which liquid and vapor come in contact and they reach to some equilibrium and then move to the next stages. So as you already studied, I mean, whenever there are like these vapor liquid contact and equilibrium stage operation, then in case of that is somehow case similar to the distillation, because in case of distillation also we bring in contact the liquid and vapor and we go for equilibrium stage operation. And in as you used in distillation, there can be the, or you studied that can be carried out in form of packed as well as plate tower. Although in case of distillation commonly plate towers are used, but both can be used. So here in case of absorption and stripping, the same equipment which are packed tower or plate tower, they can be used to bring in contact the liquid and the vapors. So when you are bringing in contact these main liquid and vapor in absorption and stripping, so here the small difference from, actually I should say with respect to distillation, their difference is here in absorption and stripping. Although we will be using packed tower as well as plate tower, but in case of absorption and stripping, always we introduce a separate mass separating agent, which is not usually introduced in case of distillation. So that's a one difference from that you have to introduce some mass separating agent in case of this absorption and stripping. So when we are using this stripping agent, so this their column for which is used for absorption and stripping, that column is simpler as compared to the distillation. Actually in case of distillation column, we have to use condenser as well as reboiler made for reaching to the separation or to make or to achieve that specific separation. But here in this case, when you are using absorption and stripping, most of the time there will be some straight simple column in which you are introducing your mass separating agent and bringing other species in contact with that. But in some of the cases, based on your process requirement, sometime you can use like condenser at the top of this column. One student has asked this question in the chat, and that was related to this, I think, stripping reflex column. So that was simple stripping column, but at the top of that there was a condenser, so some of the liquid was being condensed vapor which were reaching to the column, they were being condensed, and that was reflexed back to the column. So at the same time, in some of the conditions, maybe you will look that at the bottom of the regeneration, which is stripping section, at the bottom of that, sometime you can have a reboiler. Actually the purpose there will be to provide some of the heat for disengaging or removal of the components from the in liquid which we want to get rid of, so that liquid can be regenerated. So but most of the time they are simple column, they don't have these regenerator as well as condenser. So due to this they are simple as compared to the distillation unit. As up to here we have talked about the absorption. So in case of absorption, when I jump after defining the absorption, stripping, then we jump towards the type of the absorption, and they were physical and chemical. And as I asked you that out of those, chemical is better because with the same amount of liquid you can get more absorption as compared to the physical case. So in case of chemical, as we discussed that out of reversible and irreversible, the preferred one, the most which is commonly used, that is reversible. In that case, reversible means we can regenerate the liquid, we can just get rid of those species which were absorbed inside the liquid and then can bring it back to the absorption column again to recycle it or to reuse it. So here there is one example in which they are shown together like absorption and the stripper, because these both operation goes in parallel. Like in case of absorption, if you look at this diagram Actually, it is somehow reverse. Absorber should be on the other side. Yeah, so maybe you will be getting confused. But okay, just look at this. This is absorber in which what you are bringing is raw biogas. So what is biogas? Guys, do you know?
सर एनिमल वेस्ट को अगर हम
सर ये वेस्ट
किसी
वगैरह को बर्न
डंप
करके,
वगैरह को
वेस्ट को बर्न करके जो
Okay, by the way, we don't burn it, we just produce this gas in the absence of oxygen, but maybe you guys know the terminology biomass. So biomass are actually all animal and plant waste are called biomass. So the gas which is just produced by the from that biomass in the absence of oxygen is called biogas, and that contains actually maybe you have come across some of the news that biogas plants are installed in the village so that they can just use animal waste and can produce this gas, and that gas can be used for cooking purpose. For burning and cooking like. So biogas actually its composition is mainly like the CH4 natural gas, then can be CO2, H2S as an impurities they are present in this. So in this specific example, actually we are just talking about presence of CO2 in the biogas, but generally speaking, there is sulfur also present there. So H2S is also part of this, but here the purpose is to remove CO2 in this example. So in this example here, raw biogas enter to the absorption column. So in this absorber or absorption column, in order to remove some of the components, and as I mentioned that here the purpose is to remove CO2 from this gas. So we will bring some liquid in contact with this from the top you can see. I will just tell you what is this lean something. So just simply just consider that in this column the gas is entering from the bottom and the liquid will be entering from the top. So the gas being lighter will move to the top, because it is entering at the high pressure, and the liquid will come down due to the gravity. When they will come in contact with each other, the purpose here is to bring such a absorbent that can absorb CO2 from this gas. So when we bring it in contact with that liquid, that is that has affinity towards CO2, that will absorb CO2, and that is mainly like MEA, that is very commonly used to remove CO2. So let's consider this MEA that will absorb CO2 from this, and at the end it leaves from the bottom, while the gas which is purified, which purified means those impurities which you were supposed to remove, they has been removed in this column. So that liquid comes to the bottom. Now that liquid, we said that is better to regenerate the liquid, to recycle the liquid so that it can be regenerated. In order to regenerate it, where we will take it, we will take it to the stripper column. I will just let you know what are these things in between. So just before that, look here, it comes to the stripper, and the purpose of stripper was to remove some of the component of from the liquid stream with the help of some gas. So this liquid will be just thrown from the top. It will start moving down, and you just introduce some gas. Maybe sometime you are introducing some steam. So steam at high temperature and pressure, so that it can reverse that reaction. It can just dissolve those components which were absorbed inside the liquid, and they will be stripped out to the top, while the clean liquid will leave from the bottom. So then here this is the main operation what is happening in case of absorber as well as in the stripper. Here the gas come in contact with the liquid, and gas strips out those components which were just carried with the liquid, that will strip them away. So here as mentioned is venting CO2. So you will be just venting CO2 with the help of some gas. That can be like, you can just introduce air from the bottom, or most of the time steam is introduced inside the stripper column. So because steam will be like providing heat, as well as that will be acting as a stripping agent. So from this bottom here leaves is the clean liquid. So actually this clean liquid that should be sent back to the absorber, and this is how it works continuously. That like liquid which is initially started from here, you will bring some storage and it will be pumped and you will bring it to the absorber. So why pump is being used here? Can anyone tell me the reason to use pump?
सर हाइट
सर
पे लेके
हेड
जाना
प्रोवाइड
है
कर रहा है ना.
Yes, good. First of all, this
लिक्विड
is
है सर
valid point. Height, definitely absorber will be a column and this will be a long column. So in order to reach this liquid to the height, definitely you have to use some pump. But at the same time, in case of absorption, we discussed somewhere earlier, either we need high pressure or low pressure for absorption. Which is favored, which is better for us? That is high pressure.
High
So
pressure and
yes,
ambient temperature.
yes, high pressure and exactly ambient or low temperature. So in this case, pump will also be needed to bring it to the like high pressure. So the reason is to install pump here so that you can just send it to the height as well as to the light. It should be at high pressure. So here this is a heat exchanger. The purpose of this heat exchanger is to reduce the temperature of this stream which is going to the absorber, because we need low temperature in the absorber, while in case of stripper we need high temperature. So that something is already stripped out, removed from the, because it is high temperature that favors stripping, and that is opposite for absorber. So for absorber temperature should be low, so we reduce actually the temperature of this stream which is going to the absorber, while the other stream which is going to the stripper, we increase its temperature. So their heat exchange usually takes place with the here somehow some degree change in the temperature of both stream will be taking place, and then it is entering to the stripper. While the stream of the liquid which entered to the absorber, after absorbing species it leaves from the bottom, it is still at high pressure. So in case of stripper is opposite to absorber, and in this case the pressure should be low. So what you do, you just install a like simple valve or you flush it so that the pressure of this stream which was coming at the high pressure, that can be reduced, that can be you can decrease that pressure, and that decrease in pressure will favor you, will help you in case of stripper. So that's the reason to install some flash in between. बिलाल यार माइक म्यूट कर लो, ट्रबल क्रिएट कर रहे हो. So here the two terms are mentioned, something called lean absorbent and loaded absorbent, or sometimes they call it rich absorbent. So lean absorbent is that absorbent which is free of absorbate. Free of absorbate. Here when we brought that liquid to the stripper, we have removed all those species which were absorbed inside this, and that is called lean absorbent. Lean absorbent, you can just consider it somehow as a fresh absorbent. That is not totally fresh. In these cases of absorber and stripper, they are like not 100% recovered. All those species which were entering to the biogas, they will not definitely be removed 100%. There will be some fraction still left over, and as well the liquid which were going to the stripper to get recovered, that will not be recovered 100%. There will be always some amount still left over, but that will be usually the small amount. So we can due to this reason we usually don't call it like fresh. It is called lean absorbent. That contains, that is more or less free of absorbate, but there will be small amount of absorbate. While the other which is leaving from the bottom, when this come in contact with the gas, this start absorbing the some component of the gas, and when it will be leaving from the bottom, it is called rich or loaded absorbent, loaded with the absorbate molecules. So this is example of actually those system in which you can regenerate the liquid and can reuse it. But if there is some liquid which reacts irreversibly with the absorbate molecules, in those cases definitely there will be no stripper section. This section will be not part of those plants. Only there will be the one column of the absorbent, and always you will be bringing some fresh feed as an absorbent to the system. So let's look at this one of the other example, and that example is related to like air which is carrying somehow water and acetone, and from where it comes, as you can see in this diagram, this one which is highlighted part, this is the gas stream which is entering to some absorption column. This is one absorption column in which there are 30 trays are installed. He has mentioned here 1 to 30, and in this case we are just starting with this, that feed gas is entering to this at room temperature and 1 atmospheric pressure, and that contains some 5 components: argon, oxygen, nitrogen, which are usually part of the air stream, but there is also water and acetone. And he says that it comes from a dryer. Dryer means the equipment in which we dry some of the stream, so when we pass the air from that, and maybe also we are providing some heat so we can dry some stream. And during this drying operation, the acetone and water are evaporated from solid cellulose acetate fibers, so they become part of this air stream. So when they become part of this air stream, the purpose here is to regenerate the air, so that that can be again used for this process. So in this case, for removal of some of the components of the air, we are bringing in some liquid, and that liquid is liquid absorbent, and that is simple water. Here, by the way, flow rates are given for your understanding. So the water here has the affinity that it can remove 99.5% acetone, which is entering to this, which is for example here it is 10.3 kilomole per hour. So out of this, 99.5% is removed, and only 0.5% is just leaving with the exit gas. When we are scrubbing this gas, usually scrubbing is like absorption, and most of the time this terminology is used scrubbing when you use water for the removal of some of the components. So here, because we are using water as absorbent, so due to this, he said a scrubbed gas, the gas which has come or which came in contact with the water, and some of the species which were present in this have been removed. And he said that the scrubbed gas exiting the absorber that contain only 143 parts per million by weight of acetone. This stream which is leaving from this, which was initially containing 10.3 kilomole per hour, that contains 143 parts per million by weight of acetone. And by the way, I have mentioned here that you have to calculate it. Either it is exactly 143 parts per million or not. So guys, I think you can do this calculation. Here the moles are given. The basis take as a 1 hour, so all are like kilomoles. And a few days back we discussed this, that when there is a written something ppm, and as he mentioned here that this is ppm based on the weight, so it means this is 143 gram per gram of all the species present in this gas. So in the division, and that is gram per 10 raised power 6 gram of all the species. So just do this calculation. Here the moles are given, and you can convert, the components, so you can convert these moles to the amounts by multiplying with their molecular weight. So from that, then you can just do this calculation. Either it is 143 parts per million or not, kindly go for this. So here the water is actually, if you look, the water is part of gas stream, as well as water is being used as an absorbent from the top. So here with the water, both phenomena takes place, and those phenomena are like, for water, stripping as well as absorption of the water will be taking place. The water which is part of the feed gas, this water molecule or these water molecule are actually absorbed inside the liquid stream. There is water as well, so acetone and water are actually absorbed here mainly, along with the some amount of, you can see that oxygen and nitrogen, they are also removed in some small amount, but most of there is going to the top. So at the same time, when water is coming here, some of the water will be stripped with this gas. And if you look at this, the water amount in the stream which is leaving at the top is 22 kilomole per hour, and when it was entering to the column it was only 5 kilomole per hour. So it's mean overall, instead of absorption, the stripping of water molecule has taken place. The gas has taken away the water molecule with this. So here in major absorption of acetone along with some nitrogen and oxygen. By the way, why water has gone with this air? Can anyone tell me? Guys, do you know that air has the affinity to carry water molecules? Always air in our surrounding that contains water in sufficient amount. So here when air was coming in contact and that was carrying some small amount of the water, and if air at the given temperature and pressure can carry more water molecules, so that will just take water from this stream and will carry water molecule with this. So the reason is this, that air can carry more water, and if water is in less amount as compared to the maximum which air can carry at the given temperature and pressure, so when water will come in contact with this, definitely it will carry water with it. So that here two things are important which I discussed in last slide, that always when there is, for example, anything which you want to remove, not 100% remove, as he mentioned that 99.5% of acetone is removed actually. At the same time, the thing which when you are absorbing from the gas, it is not only the one component which is completely gas which you want to remove that should be absorbed, but other components present in the gas, they are also absorbed in small amounts. For example, here oxygen and nitrogen you can see. So in all of the processes which we see in like industries, there will always be some small amount of these other components will also be going or absorbed. So why it happens are on which actually parameter it depends. So amount of each component which is absorbed, it depends on two major components which are like number of equilibrium stages. Whenever there will be large number of stages, definitely absorption will be higher, and at the same time the components absorption factor, any of the component of the gas, its absorption factor. And what is absorption factor, or how we define it, that absorption factor is actually equal to this is liquid flow rate divided by K, equilibrium constant, and then there is Y in this vapor flow rate, V for vapor and L for the liquid. This liquid which is coming to the column, and the vapor which is the gas flow rate, actually liquid and gas flow rate, and the it also depends on the equilibrium constant. So this K value, how you determine that K value, I think these things you have studied in thermodynamics as well as hopefully in like the course which was fundamental. Do you guys already know, studied this? Anyone answer this please? K value determination.
Yes, sir.
So okay, so due to this here, if you don't remember or you don't know, in the book it is mentioned that in the chapter 2 there is a complete chapter on this, and you are supposed to like study this before coming to this course in thermodynamics as well as in the fundamental course. So if you don't remember, kindly just quickly go through the chapter 2. He mentioned some specific table in this chapter 6. This is actually chapter 6. So just note down from there, and he mentioned some specific section in the chapter 2. You can go there and revise it, but just here quickly for your information, K value for like liquids that we determine with the help of Raoult's law, and hopefully you know its main equation. So but sometime if the concentrations are very low, the amounts are very low, then modified Raoult's law is used for this determination of K value. While for the gases, for example, here the gases are nitrogen and oxygen and argon, so in that case you usually use Henry law for the determination of these K values. So here are there are few questions for you mentioned here below the diagram, that what is difference between ideal and non-ideal solution. You should know. If you don't know, just try to search the answer. This is your like small homework again, and just note down the answers with you, and maybe in next lecture I will quickly discuss this. So what is difference between like Raoult's law and modified Raoult's law, as well Henry law, what is Henry constant, so and then how to find K values using these laws. Actually, when you know the equation, definitely you can find the K value, but before that you should know what are the equation of these laws and in what cases they will be used. So here for the components which were available in our gas stream, which was entering to the column, they were argon, water, acetone, nitrogen and oxygen. Out of these, for water, the Raoult's law is used, and for the other component like acetone, which is also a liquid, so for that at normal room temperature and pressure, it is a liquid. Due to this I'm saying it is a liquid. So this is determined with the help of modified Raoult's law due to the very small amount, low amount as compared to the overall, its concentration is small. So whenever we are determining its like K value and then absorption coefficient, we will be using modified Raoult's law. And for oxygen and nitrogen and argon, the Henry law will be used. So for an economic prospect, the value of A, this absorption factor, that should be in the range of 1.25 to 2 for any of the component. When you are looking for this A, for example, we have to decide the A. So A, first of all you determine the K value, and when you have determined the K value, that then you go for like liquid and vapor flow rate, and its value should lie in this range. As we mentioned, for economic prospect, so for economically to run this plant or this process, if this value is lower than this, definitely this process will not be suitable. In that case, either you have to increase the some flow rate or decrease some other flow rate, or maybe you have to switch the liquid that can give you better K value. So this K value for many solutes vary exponentially with temperature and inversely to the pressure. So if you remember this Raoult's law, that is something P sat over P. Is that the equation for Raoult's law? Yes, this is. And if it is modified Raoult's law, then some coefficient comes with this and P sat over P. So in those cases, if you just look at the value now, as I mentioned, that the equation is for Henry, for example, for Raoult's law, we consider that it is P sat over P divided by P. Now if you increase the pressure, so what will happen? The value of K will decrease, because that is equal to K is equal to P sat over P. So in that case, when you increase the pressure, so due to increase in this pressure, the value of K will be decreasing. So when the value of K will be decreasing, look here in this equation, this is in denominator K and V actually. So when you reduce the value of K, what will happen to the A absorption factor?
Increase.
Definitely it will increase. So just link it again. The first point I said, when you increase the pressure, the value of K is decreasing, and when value of K is decreasing, absorption factor is increasing. It means absorption will be increasing, because here we said absorption is like dependent on these two. So you know that in case of absorption, high pressure favors the absorption. Okay, so high pressure mean like when you will be like increasing the pressure, definitely that actually increase here this absorption factor, and that helps you. So in case of, like he mentioned as here, like with the temperature, it raises, mean value of K will increase with the temperature. So when we increase the temperature, value of K is increasing, and when value of K is increasing here, the absorption factor is decreasing, and due to that your absorption amount will decrease in that case. So that's it. I think, okay, I will just stop here, finish it here. So absorption commercial application, here in this table are mentioned some solutes. Solutes mean those species which you want to absorb from the gas streams, and other are the absorbent, the liquid, the solvent which are used for this purpose. And then mention is the type of absorption. So out of these, here I will just directly go to those which are considered more favorable. They are like reversible chemicals. So for carbon monoxides or this carbon dioxide H2S removal, you can see that these monoethanol amine and diethanol amine are used. Sometimes glycols are also used, mean this diethyl glycol, triethylene glycol. Or for example, here he mentioned for nitrogen oxide, water is used, and that will react this. So out of, mean various are now, mean out of these all various examples given, they are used actually on industrial scale for removal of the component which are mentioned here, and these are the solvent. By the way, whenever you have to select, although chemical is better, but in some cases maybe there is no option to go for chemical, because the solvent which you use, they only make physical interaction. So in those cases, then definitely we have to use that, although absorption will be low as compared to the chemical, and you will need huge equipment, maybe more number of stages. But in case of chemical, if you can have that option, that is more preferred. And in chemical, reversible already, as we have talked about this. So next, although I was supposed to start this today, but okay, fine, tomorrow we will start with this equipment for vapor liquid separation. And initially with the, you will be introduced with their internal, mean the structure of the equipments quickly. I think in next two lecture, hopefully we will be able to cover the equipments which are pack tower, as well as like tray towers. There are types of tower, types of packing, and so on, which one is better, and their selection, and at the end, then I think hopefully by next week we will be starting the design calculations. So thank you so much. Any question?
No, sir.